How's it going, everybody? Too Spooky here. In this video today, we're going to be going over 10 facts about Majin Buu from the Dragon Ball franchise. This video was suggested by quite a few of you guys. Majin Buu has been a topic I've wanted to cover for quite a while now, so thank you all so much for making this one happen. Before we get started, I just wanted to clarify that my pronunciation of different names or phrases isn't always the best, and the information we're covering is only things related to Buu himself or events surrounding or related to his character. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. Number 1. A lot of times when people think about Dragon Ball, they think of many different cool transformations or power-ups. But something interesting to note about Buu specifically would be the fact that he has more transformations out of any other character, period. Even going as far to have more transformations than both Cell and Frieza combined. I would go over all of them for you right now, but because there are just so many, there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna miss at least a few. So feel free to comment any that I miss down below. But to name as many as I can, we've got Fat Buu or Innocent Buu, Evil Buu, Kid Buu, Super Buu, and then all the different variations after absorbing various fighters like Piccolo, Gotenks, and Gohan. Then we also have the reincarnation of Kid Buu or Super Buu, which is Oob, and I'm pretty sure there's still more even after that. Number 2. Before we had Majin Buu, Toriyama made a design for a Dragon Ball video game at the time called Dragon Ball Z VRVS, which debuted in 1994. In this game, the main villain was named Majin Ozado, who again came out before Majin Buu. It's unknown if Majin Ozado was Toriyama's prototype idea for Majin Buu, or if the two have any connection at all, but regardless, in terms of release dates, Buu was not the first Majin in the Dragon Ball universe. Number 3. If things went the way Toriyama originally wanted them to go, we wouldn't even have Majin Buu. This is because not once, but twice throughout Dragon Ball Z's original run, Toriyama wanted to end the series early. The first time was after Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time and defeated Frieza, and the second time was after Goku sacrifices himself to save Earth, and Gohan defeats Cell, continuing Goku's legacy. Although because his editors and publishers kept pushing him to do more, Toriyama finally gave in for one last saga, which of course introduced Majin Buu. Funny enough, Toriyama was coaxed to continue the story even after this final saga, but this time he just wouldn't budge and the series ended there. Since then, we've had the continuation of Dragon Ball Super, of course, but originally, that was all there was supposed to be. Even though at the time it probably would have been cool to see where the story went after Majin Buu, I can certainly sympathize with Toriyama's decision to end the series at that point. Because personally, I've always thought that the Buu sagas were easily the weakest of the series in terms of how good they actually were. Number 4. If you've watched the anime, then you'll know full well that Majin Buu has 5 fingers just like everyone else. However, in the manga, he actually has these
big meaty claws! What did you say, punk? Big meaty claws!
Why they chose to change this in the anime isn't exactly known for certain, but this also happened to other characters in the series, like Piccolo having 4 fingers in the manga but 5 in the anime, and Cell having 3 fingers in the manga but 5 in the anime. Again, the real reason for this was never specified, but the best theory or possibility to why this occurred was for censorship. Because apparently in Japan, it's taboo to show characters missing fingers due to the meat workers of that society being looked down upon. Basically, if someone were to make a hand gesture depicting missing fingers, it could be taken as an insult to some as a way of saying that they're part of the meat working subclass of their society. Another possibility could be the fact that the Dragon Ball Z anime was tossed around from studio to studio, with various new artists working on different episodes all the time, which already resulted in some interesting changes in art consistency.
Ah, look at the top of his head! Look at his lips!
So because they were always throwing work to different people, they may have just decided to keep their fingers at a normal 5 so that it was consistent from artist to artist. Number 5. Out of all the villains Goku faced throughout the entire manga, Buu was the only one that Goku actually killed, aside from Tambourine. Because if you really think about it, Goku didn't kill King Piccolo, because King Piccolo reincarnated himself into the Piccolo that we know now, and if he actually died, Kami would have also died, which didn't happen. Cell regenerated himself after pulling out the most deadly technique,
Allahu Akbar!
And Frieza survived his fight with Goku, but was then killed by Trunks. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, never mind. Forget about this fact. I completely forgot that Goku literally mass murdered an entire army. Number 6. Another thing that would be interesting to note is that Frieza knew about Majin Buu, and actually feared him. Which is pretty interesting when you consider how strong Frieza is, and how he literally fears no one. However, in Dragon Ball Super, it was revealed through dialogue that Frieza's father, King Cold, told him that there were only 2 people in the entire universe that he should fear and avoid, which were Beerus and Majin Buu. Which, if you think about it, it's also pretty interesting that Beerus never paid any mention to Majin Buu throughout their interactions. I guess Beerus is just so strong that he doesn't have to fear anyone, but at the same time Beerus was also familiar with Frieza, so there's really no reason he shouldn't have recognized Buu as well, considering Buu was basically the god of destruction before Beerus. I mean, you know, he's not actually a god of destruction, but he destroyed planets throughout the universe kind of like a god of destruction, you know what I mean. Unless of course Beerus just didn't care. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, that could be a plot hole, who knows. Number 7. In Dragon Ball SD, we got to see an alternate story where Majin Buu never met Mr. Satan. And in that story, there was a segment where we got to see what Buu would look like after he absorbed various characters, which included Videl, Yamcha, Master Roshi, and even Puar. Number 8. In some of the early concepts of Majin Buu, we can see that he basically always had that Stay Puft Marshmallow Man look, although some of the concepts had different facial expressions or just overall facial features, different clothing options, and by the looks of it, one of them even had horns. Even with those concepts though, it looks like Buu was basically how we knew him from the start. As a little bonus to this, Toriyama once said in an interview that he modeled Buu after Fuyuto Takeda, who was his editor at the time. However, this was likely just based on his editor's personality. Toriyama later denied this as well, saying that he doesn't actually model any characters after his editors, though in Buu's case, he probably did it subconsciously if he did it at all. Number 9. Bibbidi didn't actually create Buu, even though it was stated by the East Supreme Kai that he did in the manga. Instead, this was later cleared up by Toriyama himself, who said that Buu has actually been around since time immemorial, just creating chaos throughout the universe before hibernating and repeating that cycle over and over again. Which again, doesn't really make sense that Beerus didn't recognize him if he's really been around for that long. But instead of creating him, Bibbidi instead just found a way to wake and control him. But because Buu would be easier to control after absorbing the Grand Supreme Kai, Bibbidi found a way to seal him away and then proceeded to create his clone Babidi and have him awaken Buu millions of years later. So moral of this fact, Bibbidi did not create Buu. Now the moment that you've all been waiting for, number 10. To go out on a strong note, it should be noted that Majin Buu technically has his own race of people. And I say technically because it only exists in the video game lore of the series. Though since Toriyama oversaw the creation of some of these games, he could very well have had a hand in making this happen. As the lore goes, apparently Buu read an adult book called Bob and Margaret, which, funny enough, is the same book that Master Roshi gave to Goku so he could learn how to read. Anyway, through this book, Buu discovered love, and decided to create a wife for himself, which he did by splitting his body in 2, similar to what he did by dispelling his evil in the past. Shortly after this, the 2 of them wanted to have a baby, so they reread that book together to try and figure out how to do it. So the 2 of them had some funky time. And then 9 months later, Bibbidi Bobbidi, we've got Baby Buu. Actually, I'm just joking. Boo isn't actually getting any. Instead, the conclusion that the two of them came to was that they had to take various parts from their bodies, mash them together into a ball of matter, and then hit that ball of matter with their newly created technique, the Love Beam, which brought life into that little clump, creating Baby Boo, which eventually led to the Majin Race over time. So basically, in biblical terms, Majin Buu was his own Adam and Eve, which led to his own race of people populating some of the planet. Though, like I said earlier, this is only in the games, but regardless, it was so interesting, I just had to bring it up. But there you have it, everybody, 10 facts about Majin Buu. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and hopefully you learned something new. If you did, make sure to drop a like. While you're at it, be sure to subscribe for future videos, and also comment which Dragon Ball Z character you'd like to learn about next. And a little reminder that right now, I've got some exclusive merch available from now until January 1st. So if any of that looks interesting to you, well, be sure to follow the links in the description to pick one up before it's too late. Now, if you guys cannot get enough too spooky content, well, be sure to click here for 10 facts about Gohan or 10 facts about Cell. Thanks for watching. See you all next time with a new video.